All right, everybody. So I got bad news. So the silvery oil that you guys saw from that 1,500-mile oil change was bearing material. I just took the valve covers off. I took the oil pan off. The top of the engine is okay. It's not, horrible, but it is, grimy. It's filthy. It's not sludgy, though. The rocker arms and stuff have no movement at all in them. Driver's side, same thing. No movement in any of the rockers. They're a little cleaner on this side, though. But the head is still grimy. And I took the oil pan off, and here I'll show you. So, mind you, this stuff, a lot of this black stuff, this is all from the gasket, because I had to take a screwdriver, and pry into here to get the oil pan off, because it was basically just cooked on. Unfortunately, though, there's a lot of silvery chunks in here, especially in the bottom of the pan. Surprisingly, there's no sludge in here, though, so that oil change, that oil that I put in probably cleaned all the sludge up. And what I'm assuming happened, and I'll tell you in a second. So here's the bearing material. More of the bearing material on the bottom of the pan. None of that's good. So a lot of that stuff, or all of that, is probably the cam bearings. So the issue with these engines that I found out is AMC used poor quality cams or cam bearings. And they tend to delaminate on these engines. So, I got a cam bearing or multiple cam bearings that are delaminating. I don't know. So, there's not anything I can do about that. I can't fix it myself. You have to have a machine shop do that. So, I need to take the engine out and bring it to a machine shop and have them fix it, or look over the engine, give me an estimate of what needs to be fixed and how much it'll cost. So, I called a machine shop. Luckily, there's actually a machine shop that that's about, that's in Culpeper, Virginia. That's where I live, so they're like only 15 minutes away. And, he told me that he's done multiple AMC engines. He just did a 360 and a 390. So, he sounds pretty good. He's got 5-star reviews, all the pictures I've seen of, his shop and stuff. So, what I need to do is start taking the engine apart. Take off the front end and all that stuff and everything off the engine, disconnect everything. I either need to rent an engine hoist or just buy one from Harbor Freight. I'll probably just buy one so I have one, or I could just rent it. I don't know how much they are new, so pull the engine, and I need to bring the engine to him, have him do an evaluation of it and see what needs to be done and how much it'll cost to do it. So he told me roughly, if it is just the cam bearings and nothing else, it could be $1,800 to $2,000. If it's more, it could be up to $3,000 or $4,000. So that's a lot. Hell, I think on eBay there's a guy selling rebuilt 360s for cheaper than that. So I could probably just buy a rebuilt one, but I really want to keep the original engine to this vehicle. So. So the options I have now are A, B, and C. A, I sell this Jeep. I don't know how much I can get for it. Put everything back together, fill it up with oil. It still has oil pressure. It still has about 10 PSI at idle when it's hot, 40 PSI when driving, but all that's kind of low. So it still has oil pressure. It still drives, so I could sell it. It has no title, though, because I just haven't registered it yet. So sell it as is, maybe get $1,500 for it or something like that, $2,000, I don't know. Or option B would be to put it all back together, refill it, and just keep driving it sparingly like I have been to town and back when I need, concrete or boards or whatever like I do. Or option C would be to take it apart and spend potentially $1,800 to $3,000 or $4,000 to have the engine rebuilt. Those are my options. So I really don't want to sell the vehicle. I've put way too much work into it. if I sell this, I want to buy another one. And if I buy another one, they're still going to have bedside rust. They're still going to have rust on the bed, probably. The interior is probably going to be all trashed up. Again, I'm not going to know the condition of the transmission or the engine. You know, it could have delaminating bearings as well. I don't know. So it's a risk. If I sell this and buy another one, you know, I'm just going to have to deal with the problems that that one has. Or just have it rebuilt. To be honest, $1,800 or $3,000 or $4,000 is still cheaper than buying a new truck, you know, an $80,000 truck. It's still cheaper than buying a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8, you know, whatever, J10 or 20. So that's probably the best option, is to take the engine out, bring it to a machine shop, have them fix it, and put it all back together. And yeah, I mean, the transmission is good, transfer case is good, the diffs are good, it's just the cam bearings, unfortunately. So I haven't taken off the rod bearing caps. I don't know what the bearings on those look like. I have no idea. So, you know, and he told me that there's multiple options I could do. I could either have them rebuild it and it lasts 40,000 miles, or I could have them rebuild it and it lasts 100,000 miles, or I could have them build the engine, you know, for more horsepower and so forth. It just all depends what my budget is. Right now, my budget is really low. I don't have a lot of money. I'm actually broke. I can't even afford $2,000 right now, especially after my horse died, my dog died, $1,000 gas bill. I just don't have any money. So thankfully, this is not my daily driver. And yeah, and I did want to answer some of your guys' comments. I don't wear gloves because it's hard to grab or feel the nuts and bolts when you're working on stuff like this with gloves. I don't like gloves. And to the guy that said that I drove 1,500 miles or high hours on the farm because you see the farm use tag, that's not true. I don't use this thing on 100 acres driving around in cornfields and stuff like that. I live on 14 acres. I live in the country. Virginia, you can put farm use tags on your vehicles. All I use it for is hauling hay, concrete, boards for like the fencing and stuff like that, and that's it. And when I get all that stuff, I go to town to get it. Town is 30 miles away at 55, 65 miles an hour, nonstop, just a straight stretch. It's basically like driving on the interstate. So it's not me driving around in the woods, you know, getting logs and stuff like that. Yeah, I've done that a couple times on this thing. But I've never... sorry, I got a weird text from somebody just now. But I've never did 1,500 miles or high mileage doing that. It's always interstate driving. So as far as the cam bearings and all that stuff going bad, the engine guy also told me that it possibly could have been from a sludgy, nasty engine, and when I put fresh oil in there and it cleaned it all up, it probably starved the engine for oil or plugged something, you know, when it was cleaning it all up, and it probably starved maybe the cam of oil, because when I first changed the oil when I got it, there was no silver particles in it, and then after I changed it, there's silver particles. So something happened, you know, in that time frame, and he's guessing that the sludge that the fresh oil, you know, freed up or whatever, probably clogged the oil ports for the cam and stuff. So that's probably a reasonable explanation. So, but it's not my fault. So to the guy who said it's my fault, you don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. A, B, or C. A, sell the Jeep. B, put it back together and just keep driving it like I have been until the oil pressure just gets so bad I can't drive it anymore. Or C, take it apart, bring it to the machine shop, and get an estimate on how much it would cost to rebuild and have the engine rebuilt. Again, I don't have the money for that either, so I probably have to do a mixture of B and C, put it back together and drive it when I need it, absolutely need it, and then save up my money, and then take it apart and bring it to the machine shop, or, you know what I mean? So it just sucks. This is not something I wanted to have happen. It's like, if it's not one thing, it's another. You know what I mean? It seems like every month it's $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. It's just never ending. So at least Trump got elected, and I don't have to deal with Biden and Kamala anymore. So high gas and high food and everything. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think, what I should do. Should I sell it? Should I have it rebuilt? Should I just keep driving it for now? I don't know.